Morning, good evening, good afternoon, geek gods. How you doing? It's me, your host Jose, and the other co-host, of course, it's Joey, but he calls himself Jose as well. I mean Joey. Yeah, I messed that up. Good shit. Uh, it's fine. It's 9:24 p.m. today, but you could be watching this in the morning, evening, or afternoon. Obviously, that's my intro. So, today we're going to talk about the Spider-Man rumors, the Venom trailer, and Joey hasn't watched the Suicide Squad because he wants to watch it in theaters, and I watched it on my laptop with my girl, so it is what it is. I won't give spoilers, but I will talk about something that, I saw in a video, TikToker named Jay Stoops, and she mentioned something really, really important, and I was like, it's a movie that gets underrated, and James Gunn took a lot of elements from that movie. And it's a DCEU movie that was previously made that hasn't that a lot of people aren't thanking the director for that. But that'll be on later on. So the Spider-Man news. What was the one that you told me about Venom that we might see him in? Send me on
What about
Instagram.
Venom?
Venom and Mobius.
Oh yes, that they are. They have a cameo of Venom, Tom Hardy in Mobius. Yet we haven't seen anything on Mobius besides the trailer. And whenever that movie's gonna come out, but I guess it seems to be delayed because I guess either they're filming things or they're including they might be including Venom in into the series somehow in some way. Well, Tom
So
Hardy is cast in that in the film, but
okay.
they spoiled it. The director, I believe, just spoiled it. But
Yeah.
with everything going on with the multiverse, I wouldn't be surprised with um Holland making its way into the Venom series. Even Kevin Feige said there's a possibility. So, well,
Well,
fingers crossed on that one.
they're having new contracts and talks with Sony, especially with the Spider-Man character and the characters that are involved with him. So, especially since now they acquired some of the Spider-Man old animated shows into Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a
Well,
really
actually,
good.
they're gonna include the Sony's gonna end up bringing some of the Spider-Man stuff in there, the films. So there's talks that Disney will acquire every single Spider-Man film and everything related to Spider-Man in Disney.
They gotta bring back Spider-Man 2.1, the director's cut.
Mm. I can't honestly that's quite a that's going to be quite a list of films because that's a lot of Spider-Man, and especially if they're including Venom, and that's going to be a long list of films that's going to come out. I don't know when they're going to end up getting all the films, but it's going to be there. So it's there's a lot of talk about it.
Venom isn't on Netflix, right?
Huh?
Venom isn't on Netflix, right?
I don't think so.
I'm trying to find out where I can watch it without paying. I
Hmm.
don't want to pay. But I'll see what I can. I'll see what I can do with that. Um, yeah. So that's the big news. There's another news that there was photo shoot of Spider-Man in the Spider-Man set. There's a truck, and the truck has a name Feast, and we've seen that in the Spider-Man PS4 game. And that also connected Miles Morales. But that's just like what people have been talking about. It's not really a big thing. And there's also like t-shirts on the set that somebody designed because of the Spider-Men that have been mentioned. And there was a one where like it's like Toby and Doctor Strange. So Toby Maguire is Spider-Man and Doctor Strange is Spider-Man right next to each other in that portal. So I don't know. There's a lot of talks. A lot of talks about that movie. And we still haven't gotten a trailer, and I don't think we're gonna get a trailer, especially with the vaccine thing. I mean, with COVID, like they want people, and this new Delta variant. I don't know. It's
Let's
probably gonna
see.
get pushed back, just like Black Widow did.
Deborah Ann Woll, who played Karen in Daredevil, they said that they saw her on set and they took a picture of her, but she said that that's not her. But how many people have said that they're not even in the film and then they pop up in the film? So, hope I mean, it kind of looks like her, but they're saying like, oh no, that's Kristen Dunst's best friend who came on the set. And I said, what the hell is she doing there? She's not even part of the movie. Why is she invited? But then it's probably just to kind of like have speculation of who's in the film, which would make sense for her to appear in the series
Yeah,
in the
most
film.
definitely. Um, but with that being said, what else were we gonna talk about? The it was right before the Justice League. I mean, the Suicide Squad. I mentioned. Eh, remember
I mean, you could talk about the Suicide Squad. It might as well. Just so what you saw from
Suicide.
it with no spoilers until we could actually
Suicide.
spoil it.
Okay. It was great. I still wouldn't put it on my number one list of all the DCEU movies. I heard a lot of people have already put that movie on top of their list of the DCEU movies. Um, or the Zack Snyder universe. I don't think I would, only because it wasn't that it felt all over the place, but it felt that you have to keep going back and then going forward. But it transitioned very nicely, and the way that it played out was like in you have seen the Zack Snyder cut, you know that it goes black and then it gives you the chapter and where it's gonna go, or you can conclude or where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And so this one gave you chapters and it was all very cinematic and was all cool. It was very artsy and I loved it. I loved it, by the way. That's what a lot of people said was like all over the place. I'm like, it kind of was, but kind of didn't because it still felt like this is where we're going, or like you know how like in TV shows it's like either however or meanwhile this
Yeah.
character does this, so it does that. But it's really fun and it plays it pokes around with a lot of the themes um of the characters. I would say I did not expect a lot of things, so don't go expecting a lot of things of this movie. It was fun. Peter Capaldi did great. A lot of people said that he didn't. I did a TikTok video, and they said that they wasted his character. I was like, no, they didn't, because he actually played the part of what he needed to be. Um, King Shark was really good, but I think Peacemaker really stole the show. So John Cena, I gotta give props to him. He really did steal the show. I really thought that they were gonna give King Shark the Harley Quinn type of character because he's very. It's funny how in that show he's very calm, cool, and collected, but he's also very. He could be a savage.
Yeah.
And I was watching it today. He's like, "Yeah, I just don't know why like she would do that," and then he just eats somebody, literally just chomps off their head. So it's so funny and hilarious. I love that show so much. Um. Aiola Davis, dude, her performance is without a doubt amazing. Like freaking amazing. I think that was one of my favorite scenes in the beginning when she's talking
Yeah.
to
I've been since the very beginning when I was hearing that Viola Davis was gonna play
Amanda Waller.
Waller.
Oh yeah.
I was actually happy. I don't think anybody else could have played the role as at anybody else would have played the role as good as Viola Davis to play
You know
Waller.
you know who could have who kind of looks the part though? Spencer Olivia Spencer? No.
Octavia Spencer.
yeah, Octavia Spencer. She has the part of like just the way the characters has been drawn or made. But then somebody at work was like, well, she has like that too much nice thing. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, you're kind of right. But then I was like, wasn't she just in a horror movie where she actually killed people? So I don't know. And I don't know about that movie. I think you guys know. I think it's like Help something or Help Ma.
It's
Ma
Mama.
Help. Mama. There you go.
I think it was
Okay,
something like that.
we
Well,
get there.
yeah, no. I think ever since how to get away with murder, after seeing her there and then seeing her part, and most of the characters that she always portrayed were serious characters. I felt like from what we saw in the Justice League and the way she was in Justice League and how Viola is in the other films that she's been in, I saw her as, yeah, they picked the perfect woman to play
Yeah.
Waller. And I love that scene at the end of the first Suicide Squad when she comes and she tells Bruce, like, you look a little tired, maybe you should stop going at night, praying around at night. And then he comes out and he says, you better shut it down, Suicide Squad. Which that also brought me to that scene in Justice League when she came out and she told him, it's like she comes on and she says, don't worry about it, rich boy. Yeah, it's, and that knowing that she knows that it was perfect, you know, and that made, right there, just put her head to head with Bruce Wayne in knowing things and being
Oh yeah,
smart about
especially like what we've seen in the Justice League animated series, but even in the comics, how savage she is, and she like I don't know who has a bigger ego here, like Amanda or freaking Bruce, who has
it.
the
Yeah,
balls to say
which
something.
I ended up seeing the trailer again to the Suicide Squad game, and I kept thinking, like, is she talking to Waller, Harley Quinn, on the other end? And and I could see it, like, you getting like messages from Waller, or somebody playing Amanda Waller, like telling her, hey, you should go out this place and do this and all that stuff. That would be cool to see her in that game. They should bring most of those characters out from the DC universe and bring them into the Suicide Squad video game, since we're already
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
Justice League members anyway.
yeah, indeed.
Might as well bring those characters.
Mr. Berber, what up, man? How you been? Been doing good. I haven't seen you in a while. You okay? Then again, you know, somebody hasn't been live, so um. And did you watch Suicide Squad? I think you did. Hopefully you did. Can't miss that movie. Yeah, I can't think any. I can't think any more than for her to take that role and just like put it up there, man. Her performance was really scary too. In one part, it gets very scary towards the end. So it was like Jesus Christ, dude. Um, Now we all know Starro ends up being the villain, and I gotta say, like, it was really cool, and the way that it went, like, you know, as the final people that actually stayed and like finished the mission completely, it's kind of like okay with it. It's okay with it. And by the way, I think Polka Dot Man underrated. What they do with him in that movie, underrated. They could have done so much more, and I wish he could have been explored more, because there was some mental illness in his freaking character that could have been cool and could have been so like cynical, kind of like a Zaz, serial killer in Gotham.
Yeah,
Pretty savage.
I like that. I like that actor. I like that actor too. He's been almost in everything.
Dude, his voice in freaking the Long Halloween as the calendar man freaked me the fuck out. I was like, this is an awkward situation. Did you watch that, The Long Halloween?
No, I haven't seen it. Read the
Oh, you
comics,
gotta
man.
watch it. Part one is really good. I haven't seen part two yet. I gotta get a website. You know what I'm saying? I've been good, dude. You gotta watch it. It's on HBO Max or hit the movie theaters. I will say I would give it a 9 out of 10. Only because a couple things kind of pissed me off, but I don't want to talk about it because that we're gonna hit spoilers for it. Spoilers. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
How
and by
does
the
it
way,
how
stay
does
until the
it
end.
how does it comparing to how Peter Gunn did this Guardians of the Galaxy compared to Suicide Squad?
Hmm. Okay, so going back and kind of watching some of what he did in the first one was kind of like he played he made us feel dumb, and the audience made it as him showing us who the characters were and going back and like going back to their story or their origin. It kind of made me feel like I was dumb, like I'm getting explained like a 5-year old, like why, like I like it's not that I know this, but like you can be more complex with their characters, or you could just state it like they did in Guardians of the Galaxy, like
Yeah,
when they get all arrested and then the
yeah,
officers just tell us like who they are, origin, like that.
yeah,
We don't have to go all the way back and then just like slowly and surely just for them to like not survive in the end.
yeah,
um I also feel like even though there are and some of the people said that there is a really big similarity between Deadshot and Bloodsport, and the way that Will Smith portrayed him and Idris Elba portrayed Bloodsport were completely different, because Idris Elba actually did go into more of the comedic side than Will Smith did. He was
yeah,
way too more serious, which I'm like, in a way he is, but he's like fuck man, like he curses more. He's not too serious like freaking Batman. He felt like a mix between Green Arrow and somebody that shoots a freaking bullet. You know what I'm saying?
what,
Shoots
like
guns.
Deadshot?
Yeah, Deadshot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm saying
Mm,
like his character portrayal was more like Green Arrow type of like he's so mean, angry for no reason. I mean, I get it. And again, they both are doing it because they're daughters and something like that.
yeah,
Like he wants to spend more time with his daughter, and this other one, his daughter's gonna go to jail and for the rest of her life or whatever. It's
so they played that card like here again.
again, but it was more different and actually just it felt completely different, even though some of the similarities are the same. Because James Gunn knows actually how to make their character more fun. It
Yeah,
wasn't too serious because in the movie it had that rim of like darkness. You know how like in Batman v Superman it's always like dark, and in
yeah,
Suicide Squad the first one it was always that dark, but it also wanted to have more color in the freaking posters and even in the trailers, and then even
yeah.
in the movie again too. It's just like it's not a good combination to have that, and in this one they didn't have that.
Mm.
So again, it just felt like the director was like dumbing it down for no apparent reason, and I don't like that. But this one it was more fun, more comedic, and more comedy. I mean, and just like all the actors just love being there. You could tell like the set was just having fun, you know,
Mm.
and they experimented with their characters a lot. So that's what I loved about it. Yeah.
That's good. It sounds like he did his thing. I mean, they when they gave him the movie, he was like they pretty much told him like do whatever the hell you want, and he did, I guess. And he included stuff that we never thought we would probably see. I mean, to see Calendar Man there, Kaleidoscope, um, somebody else, a couple of other characters. especially that chick with the colored pieces.
Oh yeah, I forgot her name.
I think it was Kaleidoscope. Is it Kaleidoscope? Or was Paint or something Paint?
I don't remember, but I think it is. But she's a Batman villain. We get a lot of cameos, especially from just get a couple good cameos, really fun one, really cool ones, and you just like, no way, it's you. And there's a shot where it's like they're just keeping the camera on somebody, and you're just like, why are they keeping the camera on this person? Like, I get it. Cool, and then later on after the movie, it's like it hits you. Maybe while watching it, because you're good with faces. I'm good with faces, and I'm just like, wait, what? And then I had to go back, and I was like, oh, it's that person. And there is an end credit scene right at the end, so just wait for it. But it confirms something we already know. Yeah, I like the movie. Where were the heroes? I don't know. The Justice League is already formed. Where were they? I wanted to know where they were. Like, are they gonna get mentioned? They should get mentioned. Like, are they fighting somebody?
It's kind of weird because the idea that, and even in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that every single character has their own situation happening to them. Like watching Iron Man, he fights in the first Iron Man, he fights this guy. What is it? What's his name?
Spy.
In Iron Man in the first one. What's
Obadiah.
his? Was it?
Obadiah.
Yeah, I know, but it was something Monger, I think, or Warmonger or something. Damn, what was his freaking villain name? Well, whatever. He fought Obadiah and all these characters, and then we had Thor.
Oh,
He had
Ironmonger.
to deal
Sorry.
with Ironmonger. He had to deal with Loki and everybody, but there was like no no threat so crazy that it involved all the other heroes. And it's kind of weird because I always like the comics. It's like Batman deals with his own shit, Superman deals with his own shit, Wonder Woman deals with her own shit. But when there's a galactic crazy war, then we see that that's when they all hook up and get together to save the planet. But I always wondered, like, what if one of the characters end up going through like a galactic war or something like that, but on their own? Let's see, Green Lantern is normally going through crazy shit, and for some strange reason, it's like sometimes it's like, where are the other heroes at? And I always wondered about those things, even in the CW. Sometimes there's characters there that are going through hell and back trying to fight a villain, and for some strange reason, it's like, where the hell is Oliver in all this shit? You know,
That's true.
the only time that I actually was sort of like, okay, this makes a lot of sense, is this when Flash first fought Reverse Flash, and Oliver came in, and who else was there too? Somebody else was there. It wasn't only Oliver. It was Flash, Oliver, and then somebody else came in to help him out. And then
Hey,
they all,
Garrick.
after yeah, Jay Garrick, I believe, came out. And after that, no, Jay Garrick didn't come out yet. Jay Garrick didn't come out till second season.
Really? Wasn't that the second season though?
Second season. Jay Garrick didn't come out till second season. Because second season is when Zoom comes out. After they beat Reverse Flash, Zoom comes in. And then Barry starts not trusting this guy named Jay Garrick, who says he's Jay Garrick, but in reality he's actually Zoom,
Right.
and doesn't trust him. And then they find out that the guy that's locked up in the cage,
Has been Jay Garrick.
is Jay
Jay
Garrick.
Garrick.
Yeah. So I know
I
Zoom
was
was
pretty. I was like, no way.
that was really cool. That kind of played the heartstrings too. The
Yeah.
idea that Jay Garrett was it was looked just like his dad, and it kind and it in some way kind of makes sense if like because it's a great way as a as sort of like a writer's perspective to be like, you know, his dad died, he had to you know, he experienced that, you know, his dad's death, and his mom died, and the idea that Jay Garrett was his father, you know, it looked like his father, really sort of, it was like kind of poetic in some way. And knowing that the actor who portrayed Jay Garrett was the original Flash from the TV show also kind of played very well into the series, you know. And then somehow this show is going downhill with lightsabers. Really pisses me off that the way everything is going. I don't like it's like they're going somewhere else with the lore. He has a lot of villains, he has a lot of characters, and some of them will turn into good guys. He doesn't have that same. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have those villains anymore.
There
They
was
get killed
this.
off or they disappear.
There was a scene in the Flash, and I don't. I think it was when he went to the Speed Force, and he had to stay there because he had to like experience his own hell. I would say. I just don't remember why. I think he took somebody else's place so they could be back in the universe, back in their world. Um, and then he comes back after season 3 or season 4. It was Savitar, so it was season 4. So it was right after season 4, and Iris basically says like, "Why did you do that? Like you should have been home with me. You shouldn't have saved the world." And I'm just like, if he didn't do that, then you would not be talking to him right now. Like I get it, you're being selfish, but the world would have not even like been into existence. Like that just doesn't make sense, woman. Like who writes this and doesn't think properly? Like I get it, timelines are weird, and when you're playing with time, past and future, it's gonna get confusing. But it's also like you've been writing Flash for a while. I think you should get it now. You know what I mean? Like I get it. Iris should be selfish in a way, but it's also like she shouldn't be too selfish to make Barry, how do you say, rethink as a hero in order for him to, not put himself in danger, even though he's always in danger if he's a fucking Flash.
Exactly, and then knowing that he, you know, it's the heroes kind of always have to do that preemptive strike, especially when they have so many people they have to protect, especially the loved ones like their kids and their wife and all these things. And for her to feel a certain type of way about him trying to save everybody and her trying to be like, hey, what are you doing? Kind of, it's like, you know, he got disabilities way before y'all got into this relationship. So you have to understand the work that he's doing. Half the time he didn't have to, he had to like save everyone and save your ass from time to time. So it's like, you know, she's gonna have to take it easy. She's gonna have to
And
learn what the book on Lois Lane, like learn from her.
and the way that like he listens to what she's saying, he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you seriously right now?" Like he had to turn away and be like, "What the fuck just happened? Like that doesn't make any sense." So fucking hilarious. Oh man, but it was a really cringy
I
moment just
don't know
watching.
what they're trying to build there because they're not making a good person that should be with Barry.
Yeah, it's like a
It's
toxic kind of girl. You know what I'm
they're
saying?
trying to build a different type of female character that's not Lois Lane. That's what they're trying to do, and I feel like they should just like,
I think they failed,
you know,
and that's why a lot of people said she should have. That's not the Iris. Like she could have been with Felicity, and that would have been cooler. I was like, yeah, I like to see. I would have liked to see him explore him with Felicity more than I wanted to see Oliver with Felicity. Not no offense.
Yeah.
Like I get it, they wanted to go and diverge from like Black Canary and stuff, but I'm just like, no, it
This is
just
and it's funny because if you think about it, it says this is the second time that he ends up in he ends up not with his love interest because they did that in Smallville. It's like, what is up? Why can't Green Arrow get his love interest? Why can't he get Black
yeah.
Canary? This is the second time
He ended
that
up
this
with
happens to
Chloe,
him
right?
in the Arrow lore. Ugh, that thing that pissed me off because I was like, I want him to have that dynamic, that relationship with her, because I loved their relationship in Justice League Unlimited. Like those few episodes that popped up, the one with the that he was trying to save
Question.
Wildcat
Oh
from
yeah,
the
that one was really
the,
good.
the underground fighting ring,
Fighting ring.
and then the one that both Huntress and
The
the
question.
Question were all going after some shit that was happening.
Yeah, that
They
was
were
fun.
all going at it. That relationship was so funny, and it was cool because it was like even from the little like when we first see Green Arrow. I think it was in the first episode of the Justice League Unlimited when they try to put him into the team. Batman was telling him, you should join us, and I was like, I'm not built to be in this place. You got Superman, you got all these. I'm just a guy that shoots arrows. I rather arrows. That I'm just regular dude. But then when he sees Black Canary, he comes out and he's like, you know what? I'll probably stay. And she's like putting on her hose and her boots and stuff like that, all sexual, and he decides to stay. And I love that dynamic in that relationship. Even that short little cartoon where the little girl is about to get kidnapped and Green Arrow saves her. And then I think Count Vertigo
Oh
is
yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah.
Black Arrow's there, and I remember he tries to protect her. And then I remember she comes out and because I think her parents die and she becomes a queen.
Yeah.
That at the
I
end
just don't
he
remember
comes
the
out.
country.
Yeah, he ends up in the end. He ends up proposing to Black Canary because she pops out of nowhere.
I think it's like something with a C or a V. Anyways, yeah. Even in small, yeah, the one that you mentioned, he just like he breaks up with Lois and then he ends up taking her to where they're doing other operations. And then that's it. Nothing happens after that. I don't think we see her later on. Smallville always had great costumes, except for Superman. Oh, for Clark.
It's probably because they were having the issues back then during
I mean,
the
like they
the
could have made
create
their
the
own.
create the creators of Superman. They were still going through legal action with the Superman name. That's why they never put him super. They never called him Superman, even when they did that Justice League episode. Everybody had Impulse. He had Green Arrow, Aquaman, Cyborg, but he didn't get the Superman title because they were trying to get this. They were DC was fighting they were going through a lawsuit about his name being used or the Superman name itself being used in Smallville. So they never did. It's probably another reason why we only get to see the costume and we never get to see him wear it.
Well, he didn't want to wear it. He said he didn't want to be in tights and a cape.
Hmm.
But that's another
Uh,
thing.
I actually can't
Just
wait when they mentioned that they're gonna do the cartoon.
yeah, I want to see
I wonder if
that.
it's gonna be a like season 11.
Well, they
You know,
might come. Yeah, it might straight out of the comics after what they did with season 11. After
and the
season
fact
10
they're gonna
ended,
have all the
season.
To bring all the voice actors for the scene, that's gonna be great. Like to be able to hear them again. Hear like Tom Welling and hear Erica Durance, probably Kristen Crew.
No, I don't think so. I don't think she comes back. Oh well, we're gonna get a Wonder Woman and a Batman later on.
mm.
They get introduced in the comics.
Wonder who voiced them.
Bring
Let's
back the
find
old
somebody.
Justice League ones, you know? Kevin Conroy and I forgot her name. I don't remember her name. The one
Who?
that voiced Wonder Woman. Something with a G or a P. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. Where did we come from? Why are we talking about Smallville again?
Oh, because we were talking about well, we started jumping into Flash. We went from Suicide Squad to somehow Superman to Flash and his relationship and all these things. Yeah, we went out on a tangent, but I'm pretty sure we made a lot of sense at some point.
At some
It's not
point.
like we didn't. It is not like we ended up like going somewhere else, and it's like, why are we jumping into this? Something went down the line. It all got connected somehow. We built our own universe into this conversation. Everything's connected.
Everything's connected. Well, I have nothing else to say. I mean, I just finished season 7. Did I finish season 7? I don't think we finished season 7. We're about to finish season 7.
Of what? Smallville?
Oh yeah, we finished season 7. Now we're up to season 8. And Solana is bye bye.
You know what bothered me? Laura Vandervoort's character as Supergirl. I liked her as Supergirl, but I didn't like how childish they sort of made her. When in fact she was specifically put on the planet to take care of him. But it felt like he was telling her like, can you get dressed? Can you get off that bathing suit? You know, and things like that. And it felt weird. And she wanted to be like, she wanted to be popular and all these things. And I was like, I don't feel like they were rightly writing her. I would understand coming into this alien world, and she has to like find her own place in this and that. I felt like the Supergirl in the Supergirl TV show was more adult, and she was going into this world and all this stuff. But she still had that mentality of a child, of like a young teen.
Yeah.
Clark was the one that sort of like grow up and get out of this situation, all this stuff. And what happened to her? When did she disappear? When did the Supergirl character disappear?
I want to know is where the hell did Martian Manhunter go? This is season 8, and I'm like, where is he now? The last thing I know is Bizarro, and that's the first time he fought Bizarro.
Oh yeah, and then we're gonna see Doomsday.
It's later on. And then we get Smokescreen freaking Darkseid, and I'm just like, that's where he really. This is where I told my girl, I'm like, all right, so what episode was it?
Think about this, though.
Oh no, wait. It was the episode when Laura lost her memory. That's why I'm like, and this right here.
Go to smoke when that show ended. When did the Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer start? During that year?
What?
Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. When did it come out?
Fantastic Four Rise. 2007.
2007. When did Smallville end?
2010.
I was trying to make a connection there. Because we both got smoke screens with Galactus.
That's fucking true.
And Darkseid. Same freaking thing. But come on. Even freaking Green Arrow stole the Iron Man thing out of the TV show. When Iron Man came out, what did he come out and said at the end of the movie? I am Iron Man. What the hell did Oliver say in Smallville? I am Green Arrow. And I was like, come on, you're really gonna get a better writer to do this shit? You had to take it from Marvel? I was pissed off at that scene. That thing ticked me off. He was there in front of like the reporters and everything. And I was like, don't tell me he's gonna pull this stunt. And he goes, it's like, I am Green Arrow, and everybody's like, oh, and it's like that right there sort of like felt like get better writers, don't have writers, watch other shit. Like it's like make your own make your own
No,
thing.
I get you. Yeah. Yeah.
And I've noticed that if you notice during the films that came out during the time period and watching Smallville, you start to see like certain little things that remind you of like the films that were coming out during that time. That sort of kind of resembled the films that were on there, like from Marvel and things like that. Oh man. Sometimes I find that sad when they can't find their original voice and they kind of want to take stuff out. And that's why I felt that what Snyder was doing was something original, even though it was pissing people off. But it was like he wasn't taking any elements out of Marvel. He wasn't doing that, even though Warner Brothers was like, we got to do this like the Avengers, we got to do this and this and that. But he didn't end up going like, let's make a Superman movie first, let's make a Batman movie first, let's make an Aquaman movie first. And I felt like it's sort of that Snyder cut, if they would have had shown it, then we wouldn't be in this situation right now, and there would have probably been a sequel somewhere.
I think it was a mistake. I think it was fine to do a Batman v Superman. But they could have done a Batman movie right after that. That's where they missed, and then they did. Aquaman, which came first. Oh no, it was Justice League and then Aquaman. They rushed Super League, Justice League really quickly. So, and he didn't even have his own freaking what's it called trident. He used his mother's trident in that movie.
Yeah, the Justice League didn't have their own voice because it was done by Joss Whedon. He was still in the Avengers era. He wasn't and if you could see what the Avengers had,
you could definitely
like some
see.
of the stuff the Avengers, you could see the similarities.
Even the comedy stuff was the same shit. Why would they have Joss Whedon as a fucking director? I don't fucking know. Just because you have a guy that directed a movie from 2012 to do a 2016 movie that has a different types of heroes, not the same ones, a different type of cinematography and different type of feeling of these characters. What Zack Snyder did is completely different than what he's doing. And for him to try to do that greedy but still comedic side was just so, it felt off.
Yeah, it pissed me off what Joss Whedon did. I guess it was eye candy for us to see it. I even felt like it was cool, it was good, I liked it. But then when you keep watching it and noticing it, it's like, oh my god, it's like, were we blind then when we first saw them film? Because once you start to really see it, and starts to see the similarities of what he did in Avengers. Yeah. Even Avengers 1 and Avengers 2 have similarities.
Yeah, that's why like the second one was like, okay, this is like a copy and paste, but a little bit different. A little bit,
The only thing that I felt that I would have been okay with between what Joss Whedon did in his film was the argument and bumping heads about bringing back Superman. Like, I would get that. They all agreed on bringing him back to life. I mean, should have been someone there to sort of, I felt like at least one of them should be like, no, we're talking, they were talking about bringing somebody back to life. That's very unethical in some way. Only Batman has pulled that shit in the comics,
right?
And it always felt like unethical as for a hero like Wonder Woman or Flash or Cyborg to do something like that. That's the only thing that I felt like Joss Whedon, that kind of made sense in the Joss Whedon version. That
Right.
argument between Bruce Wayne and Wonder Woman, it's all about we can't do this, and he was like, we should, but that's the only thing that I'll get out of that,
Are they banging something on in your house?
Oh no, they're playing Indian music.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
it's vibrating all over.
Oh, I could hear it through the freaking thing. I just hear doom 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 doom.
Yeah.
Doom doom. I'm like, what the hell are they banging? Like they're doing construction right now, like 10 p.m. The fuck? Maybe we should rank our DCEUs another day. Movies right after. Oh, you know what? I didn't even get to rant about the thing that I talked about the video with. Okay, so so Jay Stoops in the TikTok video mentioned that Harley Quinn, the director, forgot her name, sorry, has a lot of elements in the Suicide Squad movie. So if you've seen the Harley Quinn movie, the Birds of Prey one, and you see this one, you're gonna see a lot of the similarities and the weird hate that people have for that movie is so stupid. Literally so stupid. I enjoyed the Harley Quinn Emancipation, whatever movie the hell they call it now. I'm gonna call it Birds of Prey. But this one was really, really good. But it took a lot of elements that James Gunn was like, I should try that. Especially with the flowers. You remember the flower thing and the whole fighting sequence in the police station?
Yeah.
He literally took that from Harley Quinn and then just like copied and pasted in one of his scenes.
Yeah, they said that was originally from the Batman animated series of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that too though. But they they copied and pasted, I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it was a good idea to use it, and then at first in live action in the first Harley Quinn, and then in this one it was another good way of using it. Because it showed her power. It's just not that she's a psychologist, but she's also a gymnast, and she did sports back in the day. So it played around with that. But yeah, a lot of the things that the director before and the way that it was shot. Also, in one scene in the Suicide Squad, I really, 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 really like is when they're in the beach and they're trying to show off. It's Peacemaker and what's his name? Idris Elba's Bloodsport. When they're showing off of who's better, you gotta love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna like it because the way it's shot, it feels like it's a one shot, but it's not because it gets cut. But it feels really cool. It looks really cool. I like it. I just like it. He played around with cinematography, by the way, and I loved. I was like picking up notes here and there. The way he wanted to shoot certain scenes.
I've noticed that his cinematography, how different they were in the first Guardians and the second Guardians. There was a lot of close-ups of face close-ups in the second Guardians. And when I know it was so obvious, the face close-ups, to a point I was like, he never did this in the first film. It's like, did he just end up doing something new to the film? I don't know. I guess it was something new that he decided to start working on.
It was kind of
weird. It was kind of weird. It was too obvious, though. I was like, I don't know. It's too obvious.
It kind of felt like you're watching The Office and you're just waiting for their expressions. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. Like that's what he was trying to do, and I feel it. I felt it. I was like, I like what you're doing though, because it makes sense in this scene and then not in this scene,
Yeah.
So I picked around. I played around with his idea. So it's that scene with Bloodsport and Peacemaker, and Amanda Waller when she gets crazy, and as much as I've noticed James Gunn in the second Guardians of the Galaxy, they have that button thing.
Yeah.
They have kind of, it's not a thing like that, but it's similar in the Suicide Squad movie. Again, he has that current comedy effect, to say the least. What was the one in the first one though that they did?
What?
Because it was a similar thing when they pressed the button. There was a similar thing that they did in the first one. I just can't remember. It was Groot and Rocket doing something. Or was it Drax? Something to that effect. I can't remember. I don't remember.
I don't know. The only one I remember was the one that he was telling about how to escape out of the prison and to pull the switch. And then you see Groot in the background pulling the freaking switch that sets off everything to
Oh, yeah.
that was the only one that I remember about the switch. Because I remember it was that scene when Rocket is like, okay, this is what we got to do first.
No, it's like when they're arguing to each other, they're bickering back and forth, but I can't remember a bickering back and forth in the first one. But anyways, in the second one, he has that button thing, and in this one, they kind of have that bickering back and forth. But it's very, very funny. It's hilarious because you're just gonna be like, "What the fuck?" And it's out of the blue. It's out of the blue because I'm just like, wait, yeah, why was that person? Okay. It's funny. You just gotta watch it. I love the movie, man. It was fun though. It was fun, but I still wouldn't put it on my number one. Still wouldn't put it on my number one.
You know what? I might end up just watching it on the HBO Max. Because I was thinking about doing it on Saturday, but I'm getting vaccinated on Saturday, and then I'm thinking about how am I going to feel when I get out of this movie. So I was like, I don't know. I'm thinking I'm iffy about it.
Well, what are you getting?
Watch it. Huh?
What are you getting?
It's the Pfizer. I'm getting the second dosage.
Oh, the Pfizer. Drink a lot of Gatorade. Get a gallon of Gatorade or whatever you can. Drink a lot of Gatorade.
Cece ended up getting hers. She ended up getting hers Saturday. All she did was get a headache, but she said her shoulder is very sore, like it's bumpy, like you can see a red spot and just like,
yeah, Val got the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've been. Let's get off the
Pfizer
comic book topic right now, because right now I'm freaking my head is about to explode and my anxieties has been like sort of kicking in like terribly with this new job. I don't like desk jobs, and I realize I don't like desk jobs since I've had this first desk job. And the fact that I have to calculate numbers and making sure that the numbers are precise, that I'm not charging the hotel much more than I have to, is driving me freaking insane. And I don't like it. The anxiety is like skyrocket. And at some point, I'm pretty sure my boss is gonna hear this, and because supposedly he's like my best friend that I've known since high school. The idea that loyalty comes into effect when you have a lot of issues in regards to the situation that you're in. You're not. I feel like I need to like find my like. It's like I can't do this. I can't do this right now. It's just driving me crazy. It's like this isn't the way that it should be. Like if you make a business and you're gonna hire employees, you're training the employees to learn the programs, the computer, and all these things, and they should be working. You don't throw somebody inside when it's not working. So I'm constantly like on the tip of my toes, like trying to like do everything that I need to do and then to head off to the next part of the other job. And I don't know, my anxiety has been like kicking in like crazy, and I'm like hate it to a point that I don't want to be there no more. So I'm like planning to send a resume out to another place and fix up my resume, and then try to find something else that might be suitable. That
And the resumes everywhere, bro.
Yeah,
Never know.
I need something that's more like moving around and picking up stuff, just not being sitting down on the table. I can't. I need
I
like
don't mind
movement.
being sitting down, but I gotta stand up here and there. You know.
Yeah, and sometimes I like get really
Sleepy.
tired, and it's like, I don't want to do this.
I
It's
got
a
you.
simple task. The job is a simple task, but it's the fact that you know a lot of important stuff is involved that could screw up you know your position in the business.
Right.
One digit less and one digit more may have a manager breathing down your throat about what did you just do.
Right.
And I don't, of course people usually have that need to have things like that do happen in any other job where it's like you didn't do this right, or things like that, and it's like you should have done this much better. But it's like I'm not into trying to it's again, it's like having the red button. It's like whether or not you're gonna end up accidentally pressing it or some shit like that. I can't have a job like that. You can screw up easily. I'd rather have a job where I'm like moving back and forth and around. And I think that's why it was easier to work for as a busser or runner in American Girl, because it was a lot easier because you had to just move back and forth, clean tables, and do whatever the hell you had to do. And not only that, it shuts off the stuff in your own head, because if you sit down for far too long, you start to think things that you don't want to think about. You know, like saying that you're working at the security job, or working programming an elevator, or things like that. Like, you need to move, because if you I was the type of person, if I stand still, that's it. Freaking voices start coming into my head, and I'm like, these ain't gonna shut off for a while. I need to get out. I need to start moving a little faster. I couldn't stand that shit. I can't be in a desk job. I need movement. I'm telling you.
Can't play music while you're there.
I could play music, but I'm in a basement, and that shit, it has, dude. I don't have any I don't have any internet access. Uh, I'm in a basement, so the Wi-Fi does not pick up any. And if I do play music, it's just gonna like skip it, because it's like the Wi-Fi is all messed up. It's terrible. It's like the things I would like to enjoy, like just to like do while I'm waiting for the time to run out after I've done the work. It's just like I can't do. That's like it's just me in an office that's about a little bit bigger than this room. And you know, and I'm by myself, just not trying to like figure things out. Like it's like I can't wait to get out of here. It's not the job for me.
Hey man, said that
But work
too.
anyway. I mean, working in general it's nobody wants to work, but
Nobody
it's
wants a
still
job. Everybody wants a career. That's a different.
exactly. Everybody wants a career, and you got to fight for that too to
Oh
get
my
into
god,
that.
getting a career is a
You know,
fucking bitch right now. Trust me,
I've
guys.
seen people that like ended up learning graphic design and all these things to make websites and things like that, and they decided to do something else because the business nothing was opening up for them. And they're kind of sad, because you spend most of your entire life in school trying to learn something you're passionate about, and only to realize it's very competitive and you might not get into the door.
Well, I had the foot in the door, but I decided not to take it. But that's a different story for another day. With that being said, let's call this a night and say our farewells. We hit an hour, so cool. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. Just hit Geek Mythos Podcast or scroll down below in the About Me or the description if you're watching or listening. And hit the Linktree link down below. You could find us on Facebook and talk to us on Discord. Hopefully the website still works. I don't know. Because it should be forever. And did I say Twitch? You could follow us on Twitch if you're not watching us live, which a lot of you probably aren't. And YouTube. We have been doing Geek Mythos podcast, superheroes mental health, and we started villains mental health. The last one that I've done is Loki. Last week I had to take a kind of like a mini vacation because I just needed a mental health week. Stressed from work from stress. Work stresses me out. I can't even speak. So I needed to take a week because I'm feeling burnt out as well as Joey is. We're both feeling burnt out, and it's hard to find a job out there. So I feel you, Joey. I feel you 100%. But we will be here next week. Hopefully, Joey watches the Suicide Squad. I want to watch the Suicide Squad again. By myself because
is the Long Halloween in HBO Max?
Not yet.
Oh
man, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I have to download it somewhere.
I have finished Attack on Titans. I have finished the 7 Deadly Sins. I am almost. I don't know how many seasons are on Demon Slayer. I am not caught up. I'm missing one episode today, which is the 9th of August. Wow. 9th of August. I'm missing one episode of My Hero Academia, for those that want to know. And I am going to watch right after Demon Slayer Ragnarok. I heard that was really good. I think you told me about that. Did you tell me about that one?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh, that was Thurman. Thurman told me about that. How many episodes are in this one? God, 26. Okay, that's only season 1. Yeah, 1 season. So I gotta watch Ragnarok. I also have to watch Love, Death, Robots on Netflix because I heard that's really, really, really good. Dragon's Dogma, and that's it so far. But if you have any other you guys have any other recommendations, I will gladly take it. You could follow me on Instagram too and on TikTok.
We should watch crappy Marvel movies.
Oh, I like that. And we do videos on it and we say it is crappy for this reason. I don't know why the hell I made that accent up. But yeah, I like that.
It should be the first movie to watch. Howard the Duck. We gotta see Howard the Duck. That is gonna be a rant and a half of how horrible that entire film is, but yet is a cult classic for Marvel fans. It's just insane that movie actually exists, and it
you know what? We do that. I do a video on TikTok and we set the date. I think people might come and follow us for that. I think we'll do it live. We'll do it live on Discord, man.
So we could do that, like sit down and just like.
We could do it on Discord. We can't do it on like Twitch. But I could record.
That they have a. You know how Mystery Science Theater 3000, where they have the people watch the movies and it's just talking about it. They did a Teen Titans one where they're watching the first Space Jam. The Teen Titans Go.
Like that.
I was that that was pretty interesting. It's like, wow, it's like Warner Brothers really wanna like diss on Warner Brothers shit, you know?
That's
The
funny. I
funny
like.
thing is, I also noticed that Rick Flag he has a bunny shirt, and instead of saying WB, it says like something else on it, I think.
Yeah, I forgot what it said, but yeah, you're right. It has a rabbit. And I was thinking, I'm like, are they gonna include the rabbit that Toon universe that they have in the comics? You know which
Yeah,
one I'm
I'm
talking about?
really from what I've heard, from what I read from the Easter egg at the end, I want to see that 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 freaking end credit ending in Suicide Squad. From what I read, it looks like it's kind of opening the door for possibilities for what we're planning to do in the future for films. So
Never know. You never know.
let's see. Because from
Um,
the looks of it, I think they want, if with the success of this, they want James Gunn to do more.
hey man, imagine he does Justice League 2 or Man of Steel 2 because they don't want Zack Snyder no more. And he does a
Yeah, I mean,
fucking awesome job. Like,
there's a lot of direct. I mean, they brought James Gunn, and he did a hell of a good job. All right now, and everybody is loving Suicide Squad. I haven't seen it yet, but I mean, for the fact that there's more love than hate. I mean, we saw a lot of hate in the first Suicide Squad. So imagine how much right now, all the love that they're giving for this Suicide Squad, you're hearing a lot more of that than you hear of all the hate that they gave in the first film. So that sort of, and then with the Zack Snyder cut, I mean, they gave that movie so much love, and it was kind of sad that they wanted to sweep it under the table. So, and Shazam was a decent movie. Aquaman had his flaws. Hopefully the second one doesn't,
that movie was a
get screwed
fucking
up.
cheesecake. Shit was so cheesy. I know people like it. Like I had its moments, but that shit was cheesy, bro.
To be honest,
So predictable. Even my girl knew the fucking lines. She never watched even Aquaman. She was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure he's gonna say that." And they say it, and then she looks at me, and I'm just like, "We're
no,
cracking
yeah,
up in the
no.
fucking movie theater."
It was predictable because I was like watching it for the first time, and Cece was like, "Hey, let's watch this." So I was watching it, and I'm looking at it. It's like, oh my god, I'm seeing this. This is so similar to a lot of other films. All of a sudden, like the scene where they end up in like this water area and they find this person in this crazy bone armor of some sort, and I was like, "That's his mom." And she was like, "You didn't see this movie. How do you know that it's his mom? Have you seen it?" I was like, "Did you see How to Train Your Dragon 2?" And I was like, "Yeah, exactly the same situation. He thought she was dead. She comes and she saves his life and then finds out that she's still alive. That's How to Train Your Dragon." It was like there was a lot of elements from a lot of the other films and stuff like that. Like you knew he was gonna rise the Kraken, and it's like he's gonna get the Kraken, you know.
And he's gonna say, "Oh yeah," or something like that. I don't know, some shit.
All right,
And
we're
did he
all
have? Wait,
set.
wait, wait. Did he have the Natasha Romanoff hair flip?
Did he?
I want to
Mm.
edit all of that shit. I want to edit all the guys that have long hair and then see if they do the hair flip.
I mean, there's all the superheroes that do that freaking pose every time
Oh,
they
they
land on
all
the
do that
ground.
superhero landing. What
Yeah,
Deadpool says, and I'm like, that's where I got it from. Superhero landing.
that should. Oh, that'll be great to see in whole editing of every single superhero do it, but put Deadpool doing like superhero landing, superhero like just have it like just keep
Yeah.
going as
I'll
him
do that.
saying.
I'll do that. I'll do that. Yeah, I might do that.
That would be incredible. Just him saying it over and over. Oh, before we go, there was I just ended up getting on Deadpool Black, White, and Blood. and there's it's a series. It's like 5-issue series, and each issue has short little stories. And there was one where he's calling Spider-Man, and you can see his phone ringing, and it says Deadpool, and Mary Jane tells him like, don't pick that phone up. You know that nothing good is going to come out of it. All of a sudden he calls Wolverine, and then Wolverine picks up, and he's in a motorcycle, and he's like, hey Wolvie, can you help me out here? I need help. And he's like, how did you get my phone number? And then he just tosses it like behind, and you see it crack on the floor. Then he ends up calling somebody else, and then it was like, hey, and it was like this little girl who, like a little teen, and it seems like she has like one claw that comes out instead of the usual like 2 claws or 3 claws. She only has like 1 claw, and it seems from her background story they were trying to turn her into a weapon as well and shit like that. So, but Deadpool calls her, and it was like, I'm your best friend. Why didn't you call me first? And then it's like, then Deadpool was like, because in the first draft, it didn't sound right. So it made sense for me to call everybody else before I called you. So it's like telling everybody in the first draft. And then all of a sudden she comes out and say, yeah, I need help right now. My intestines are coming out. And then it kind of zooms out, and you see his intestines, and it says, and then he starts talking to the person, like the reader, like saying, hey kids, if somebody's intestines are coming out, this is not meant for kids at a younger age. This is meant for adults and teens of 13 and up, and this, that. And all of a sudden it does like the more you know type thing, like the more you know, like you learn something. And I was like, that was funny as hell. But
they really do know how to write.
The funny thing is, the whole thing is like red and black and white. So throughout the whole thing, he's sort of making fun of the whole situation, that the whole thing is red and black and white. Like, it's like, oh my God. And it's like they show like Omega Red fighting for his flag, which is red, and the other person is fighting with a flag that it's red, and they're going up against each other. This whole red and black thing isn't working well in this whole situation. So it's pretty cool. It's like a series of like different they've been doing that a lot with Superman's been doing it, and Marvel's been doing it too. But Marvel's doing the black and white and red. They did a Carnage, they did a Wolverine, and right now they have a Deadpool. And then for the DC comics, they have a Batman black and white. For Superman, they have red and blue, and for Wonder Woman is gold and black. Yeah.
Huh.
But it's like 6 issues, and each issue has like 3 or 4 short stories, which is like, you pass each page and it's like something new pops up, some little short story. So it's like it's a fun read.
Right. Well, with that being said, oh, I thought I hit the button. That being said, we'll see you next one, geek guys. What?
Went out of a tangent again. We see you next weekend. No, next weekday, Monday. See you Monday.
Next week, Monday. Bye. I pressed the wrong button. Nobody saw that.